When it comes to body fat loss, weight loss, any type of body changes you want to make, more important than the workout, the most important thing is your recovery. It took me forever to get this. I am still dealing with it today, but in order for you to get the benefits of proper nutrition, of physical exercise, lifting weights, stretching, anything like that, you have to be getting enough rest. Rest is where everything happens. That's where all the magic happens. It's the recovery part. It's where, if I'm not mistaken, scientists don't even really know everything that happens during your periods where you sleep and when you sleep for long periods of time. I guess the national average or the standard is that you need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every night. I haven't gotten 7 hours of sleep it consistently in a very long time, but it's something I'm focused on now. I'm getting back into walking. I'm getting back into working on my body and changing things, improving things to where I can feel good about myself long term. And the way I'm approaching it this time versus just straight up just walking is I'm going in phases. And the first phase is actually getting back to physical activity. But along with that, actually even more important is increasing the quality of my sleep, getting somewhere between 7 to 9 hours and making sure that I get the 7 to 9 hours. So for me, I'm focused on recovery, sleep first, the walking, the physical activity, and then also my hydration. Hydration with like a focus on electrolytes. It just took me a long time to get there. You have to think, um, where do all those changes take place? Where do you actually see what happens? I mean, you're in the gym for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, however long you're in the gym. But when do you actually get to rebuild from that? It's when you're sleeping, when you're resting, and you have to give your body the proper hydration to actually push those fluids through, so everything continues to work. I feel like when I'm walking, or that physical activity is like the missing ingredient that makes everything else go. It makes the nutrition that you're taking, like if you're taking any kind of supplements, it's the whole foods, it's all that stuff. That's the thing. It's kind of like the piece that makes it's the little engine that makes everything go. You can put in all the ingredients, but the physical activity, walking, resistance training, mobility training, stretching, whatever that is, yoga, whatever that is, it's like the oven that makes it all come together, like and make the wonderful cake, if I can say that. So I just wanted to make this one point, and just also wanted to point out just how counter it runs to what we're all taught in terms of health. We're all taught that when it comes to health, you want to start working out. You see people start jogging immediately, not walking, they start jogging. They start lifting weights, they start throwing weights around. Next thing you know, they're injured. This is how it works. Where the reality, if you're able to get like more of a holistic view of everything, the reality is you really want to focus on your sleep. You want to focus on getting the right amount of sleep. And it's really crazy because in culture that we're in these days, sleep is frowned upon. I mean, who wants to sleep? If you're sleeping, you're sleeping through life. You're missing out on life. But sleep is where everything happens. I know for me myself, if I don't get proper sleep, like if I don't get the proper sleep at the proper times, and I'll get to that in a second. My next day is I'm functional. Like I can talk, have conversations, everything is great. But I have these situations where like I'll binge. Like I'm more susceptible to going off the reservation in terms of like my what I'm supposed to be looking at for my eating goals. Like I'll eat a bunch of candy, or I will have alcohol. I'll have a drink or something like that. I just don't have the um, willpower, the willpower that I would normally have because I didn't have proper sleep the night before. It's one of the things that I know that I'm more susceptible to negative things happening as far as my eating and nutrition goes than if I did get proper sleep. And then when I say timing of my sleep, um, I seem to do better if I go to sleep before midnight. I think where it works best for me is like around 10:30. If I go to sleep, I can go to sleep at, let's say, 10:30. If I'm asleep at 10:30 and I wake up at let's say 5:30, that's like a good 7 hours of sleep. That works better for me than if I go to bed at, let's say, 1 a.m. and wake up at 8 a.m. I don't know, something about the midnight hour for me, it just doesn't work. And or it doesn't work as well. I just can't seem to get the same quality of sleep if I go to sleep after midnight versus before. So I'm just saying all this to talk about recovery, pointing out that recovery is important. And I'd almost hazard a guess that if you were to, before you start doing a physical activity, before you start focusing on your water consumption, hydration, before you start focusing on your nutrition, I didn't even bring up nutrition. Nutrition, basically, I'm keeping it really, really, really simple. It's going to be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, body mass. And I'm going to say lean body mass just to be specific. So somewhere within lean body mass and your weight, that's about how much protein, or that's how much protein I'm looking at consuming. Since I'm older, protein, and this is as I understand it, protein is very important since I'm older because it's the foundational nutrient or foundational um, thing that I need to focus on as far as recovery, rebuilding of skeletal tissue, like just their whole rebuilding process. Protein is critical for that. But also, protein makes me feel full. It's satiated. I mean, it's just making me feel full that I don't get if I have like a bunch of carbs. The carbs seem to like I feel full at the moment, but then after I'm done eating the carbs, shortly thereafter I'm hungry again, and then I want to eat more. That kind of it runs counter to anything I'm trying to accomplish um, with my diet. The other thing with protein is that if I focus just on protein alone, everything else takes care of itself. So if I were, and this is rough numbers. So if I'm going to consume like, let's say 2,000 calories a day, and I'm focused on 200 grams of protein a day, that'd be 800 calories at 4 calories per gram of protein, rough numbers. So it's 800 calories just in protein alone. That leaves me another 1,200 left over for everything else. That's for fats, for carbs, that kind of thing. I'm just trying to keep things simple for myself. And I actually know I can experience a difference in how I feel based on protein consumption. So these are things that I'm doing where I can see a noticeable change from one day to the next. And that's important. Kind of like if you get into supplementation on things, you start taking HMB. These are just supplements, more of the things that are optional, like let's say creatine. Um, and I mean, they're research. I'm not saying don't take them. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fitness guy. I'm just telling you, just trying to give an example. But when I take those, and I have taken those things, when I take those things, I can't say I feel a noticeable, there's not a noticeable result going from one day to the next. But if I sleep properly, meaning I get 7 hours of sleep, solid sleep. I mean, let's be honest. If I get 6 hours of solid sleep, I feel a lot better. If I'm properly hydrated, I function a lot better. If I'm getting my protein, like that, a lot of protein, um, then I do feel fuller and then my body's functioning better. And the whole point of all this, the whole point of optimizing for health and nutrition for me right now is because it will empower everything else. It'll empower my YouTube creation. It'll empower my functionality at work. I'll have more energy and be present for my family. I'll be more present at work. And really, that's what it all comes down to, is having the energy. Because one thing to have goals or dreams or hopes, that's one thing to have them. It's another thing to have the energy on a consistent basis to fuel those hopes and dreams. Because let's face it, we're all doing something. I won't say stuck. Our 24 hours is already dedicated to doing something. So when you're trying to do something else, if you're trying to change the course of your life, it requires additional effort. And if you don't have the effort, the energy required to make the additional effort to make the change, then it's a lot more difficult. And we might just quit. We might just give up on the idea. So that's why we're focused on sleep. If you slept 9 hours, got some solid good night's rest, you'd probably have a lot more energy the next day to put toward. And I'm just saying that's basic, just sleep. Make a hydration, water consumption. Make sure you're enough water. Since we're talking rough numbers, it's 1 ounce of water for half your body weight. So if I weigh 200 pounds, and my goal would be 100 ounces of water. That's just another easy rule of thumb. Starting to get there, just being more intentional with what I'm doing in terms of my protein, water, and sleep. So kind of rambled a little bit here. Hope you were able to pull out the nuggets. I'll sure I'll be updating you on this in the future, but just wanted to let you know too. Walking, recovery, hydration, nutrition. Well, that's all I got for you right now. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.